Come here. Come here. Up. Up. Sit. Stay.
Think she's in frame? This is Sophie, my friend Matul's dog, who lives next door. My parents never let me get a dog growing up. The closest I came was a rabbit in the 4th grade named Floppers, who I had to give away because I was bored. Don't get me wrong, I loved Floppers. She was so cute, but I digress. Today, I'm going to tell you about a brilliant podcast I recently listened to that revealed a magic about dogs that I never knew existed. I now have a much better understanding of what's going on in the hearts and minds of dogs and why people feel so deeply connected to them. This is I Learned It on a Podcast, where I tell you the fascinating lessons podcasts have taught me to help you grow in your business and your life. The episode we're discussing today is from a podcast called No Such Thing. It's a show all about asking important questions that many people might not have the audacity to ask. Some of the episodes of the show include, why does the Dasani water taste that way? And should men sit or stand if they pee? Man, I wish I had watched that one a long time ago. On today's show, I'm going to tell you about an episode entitled, Are Suburban Dogs Happier Than City Dogs? The topic was inspired by one of the hosts, Devan, who was wondering if his dog Murphy would be happier living in the suburbs than his house in New York City. The host of the show contacted Alexandra Horowitz, a leading canine cognition researcher and author. Her most famous book is Inside of a Dog: What Dogs See, Smell, and Know. We tend to interpret dogs as though they think like people, but dogs don't live through language. They live through scent, sound, and motion. A dog's sense of smell is 10,000 to 100,000 times greater than ours. They can detect diseases like cancer and even identify emotions based on scent. Dogs' eyes are not like ours. They're tuned to movement, not color. They're dichromatic, similar to red-green colorblind, and they see way better in the dark than we do. A squirrel across the park, they can spot it before a human eye starts blinking. So when we ask, what's a dog thinking? Maybe it would be better if we asked, what's a dog sensing? But even more mind-blowing is how emotionally sensitive dogs are. They notice tiny shifts in your voice, your posture, even your scent when you're stressed. Dogs don't speak English, but they're surprisingly fluent in context. The average dog knows 165 words, but it's not the words. It's the way you move your body, your tone, your scent. Then there are some outliers. There was a border collie named Chaser who had remembered over 1,000 different object names. She could grab the right toy, even with combinations she had never heard before. Basically, a canine Einstein. The alpha dog myth. Thanks to TV trainers like Cesar Millan, a lot of people think because dogs are descended from wolves, they're wired for dominance. The first problem is that dogs are not wolves. The second thing is that the idea came from outdated research on captive wolves, not wild wolves, which we're supposed to be tracing these instincts back to. So let's go back to the question now that inspired this episode in the first place. Would Devan's dog Murphy be happier in the suburbs in a big house with a huge yard, or his small, cramped New York apartment? Drum roll. Our expert Alexandra Horowitz says no. One of the main takeaways from this episode is that happiness for dogs doesn't come from grass or a big backyard. The main reason dogs are happy is stimulation. Dogs hanging out in big backyards may have a lot of room to stretch their legs, but they very likely may be bored if they're alone all the time. They might not mind if they get a lot of attention and they're used to it, But New York has stimulation everywhere. In the Big Apple, dogs get to encounter tons of interesting people, lots of other dogs, and incredible smells. And this gives their brain lots to do. Alexandra Horowitz likens going for a walk as stimulating like a beautiful sunset. For Gen Z dogs, going for a walk is like TikTok. Every sniff is a new character, a new post in their story, particularly if they're born and bred in New York City. So what did I learn on this podcast? Dogs sense the world in extraordinary ways. And like with people, connection to a place and the people around you matters a lot more than having a beautiful space and a lot of room to run around. A big thanks to No Such Thing for blowing my mind about the minds of dogs. I can't wait to explore the next ear-opening podcast with all of you. So if you like this, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment.